So I think we need, so we have fetch results. We're going to want the commensurate thing. So it's going to be like fetch complete results and fetch result history. And those two were users, interval IDs were what we had for the history. Alright, complete user stats look like that. So user result, so a complete user result. What would this look like? An account ID, user interval stats. We would have results for the user, and we would have interval results here. Alright, so the user interval results doesn't exist. User individual result. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Is this stat interval and the user result history. The other question is, do we have intervals for results that are different from stats? No, we just have user intervals. So our intervals are the same for missions as they are with our stats. That's fine. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So complete user results. All right, so fetch complete. Fetch results, fetch complete results, fetch results history. That's fine. Let's generate all that out. Duplicate ID 7 in service stats. So we've got 6. Where's 7? There's 7. I skipped one. Alright, so our new service calls should show up. As they did. So these guys are going to be kind of the more convenience functions. Like, I don't think we're going to actually use fetch results and fetch stats too much, because they're a little bit too raw. We're probably going to be calling this like fetch complete results and everything. The raw stuff would be more if we had like some big other thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the fetching of the history. What order did I do these in here? Fetch stats and then fetch stat history. Yeah, okay. So I'll do the same thing down here. Okay, so fetching our results history. Our result history takes a list of interval IDs to fetch a list of users, result contacts, result names. All right. And we're going to need to snag the intervals as well. So max intervals should be where we got. All right. Snag our database. I'm not really too worried about some of the copy paste in these functions for call stuff. I don't know. There's a certain amount of copy paste that I actually find helpful with a lot of service coding, and especially when you're not working on it all the time. Because what ends up happening is if you write like a bug, it's only in one place, and when you find that bug, I don't know. It's like you don't have indirect side effects. So like if you have a big complex server system that spans like 14 different services across a fleet and you update something that all of them depend on, it can be incredibly difficult to test all of it. So sometimes it's better to just copy paste some things around, because then you like never update, the relay system, because it's like it doesn't need to be updated. Like sure, maybe there's a better thing or whatever, but let's just not fuck with that thing. At least for business logic. I'm okay with spending a couple more, hours screwing around with adding things if I don't have to scratch my head as to why a push to the telemetry server blew up the account management service. Fetch the latest round of intervals if not specified. Otherwise, do this. So these are pretty much similar with what we have to do here. So I'm kind of copy paste and change it, because we need to fetch all the intervals. So fetch latest intervals. Otherwise, we will do this. So this is all that. Okay, so otherwise we will fetch the intervals that this guy actually asked for, and we are going to interval bar names, prepare, interval ID, get the size, didn't find all intervals, and put them. All right, cool. So we have this. So this is going to be user, result history, bar names. So we have the users. We have the result context. User result history bar names. Very good. So then we need to fetch all the results for all the intervals for all the users that we need. So that's going to be stats db.get from user result history prepared. So snag that. So if our request.result context does not equal null, request? What the fuck am I on? Okay, so that's going to be our select statement. Alright, so the next thing we have to do is we have to create the same sort of thing that we did before, which is fetch stats history. We selected our thing and like we made this whole garbage. So we need the account stats. We're going to need to go through the user stats history. But this is going to be a user result history. This is user interval results. Alright, so we've got all this stuff added into our actual results array thing. So this is going to be this guy. Bug fixing stream? Nah, I'm working on new features. Yeah, it's a bug creating stream. Most definitely a bug creating stream. Fetch results history contains user results. No, it's supposed to contain user interval results. And this is supposed to be a complete result. Complete user result. Great. Yeah, right now I am working on implementing the backend meta stats and results system. So right now, this is the whole system is this big everything. And the pieces that I've been working on today is I got this piece coded out, and right now I'm working on this piece right here. And this is all like back-end database stuff and service stuff, so it's not like the front-end C++, unless I have some other things I need to boot up and fix. All right. I'm going to go get some more water and Alright, so now we need to get the complete results for a user, and the complete results, what's the difference? The complete results has the results for the user, and it also has all of the interval results for that user as well. So let me see how I implemented this up here for complete stuff. What did I do? I grabbed all the intervals because we don't pass in the interval IDs. We added all those there to the map. User stats, we pulled those, and we also pulled the stat history. So it's basically just both of them. We then had to push all this stuff together and do a little bit more work because in order to create the data structure with the interval results, with the interval stats, yeah, we had to look up in the user map because our interval IDs are different or whatever. So what's this? We got everything from all the intervals and we just shoved it in there. It's just a bunch of interval results. So we basically copy paste this whole thing. So if we don't have these interval IDs here, and this always executes, Alright, so that should work for that. So we got the result history. And we're going to need the stats as well. So we're going to snag our account ID, result context, result name, filter all that crap. I have bugs in this with these SQL things, so I need to go back and fix those and just do that in a little bit. Okay, so we got all of our information here. Alright, so what we have to do is we're going to create these complete user results. So we have everything from the, I guess I should call this user results. Alright, so if this is null, then okay, so our account result, account ID is going to be a result.account ID. Our account results is going to be a realist of that, and our account res.just results is going to be a new realist as well. Alright, so account res.results add result. Okay, so that's there. And what we're going to need to do now is for every so that's just our basic results for everything. Now we need our historical results. So for stats, user result history, result in result history. Okay, so we'll get the account data and set that up if we need to. Otherwise, we need to do basically this. This will be history, I guess, interval results. And that's going to be this, we need a hash map string to these results. This is going to be the account interval map. Yeah, we're going to get based on the result account ID added to the interval ID. So if this is null, we need to make another one, add it. So the interval is going to be what? We've got the intervals map, which is just intervals. So then we have an array list of that stuff, and then we need to add this to it. So put this guy in there. All right, so that we now have a fully created complete results list. All right, so we have our complete results for all the people that we wanted to look at. All right, I need to go back and fix these selects. Let's see, I am missing the ands in between here, so this needs to be an and. All right, that looks good. And here. That looks correct. Okay, so that is good to go. So let's report some results. All right, so Well, uh, let's see. The top news of tonight is Stephen Hawking is dead. I agree with the very first comment. Will there be any? I wonder if there will be time travelers at the funeral. Alright. So, to report results, we got like a whole bunch of results that we got to report. So let's look. User result report is an account ID and then a collection of user individual results. So for these, we want to check our enums real quick. So we have stat contexts here. I think we also want some result context. So we'll get those. So what we want to do is we want to go through and validate everything. So this is going to be a user result report. Max results for user? I mean, probably 1 is what you really want there, but let's just limit it to 20 just because. Alright, looks like results are already not really working due to some copy paste. So it's user report, result report, user individual result, and report dot results. Alright, so I need to regenerate since I changed a few things. That's not the right thing. That's Steam. That's not my script. Well, there we go. I'll just start doing a stream of some game then. Fuck it. Actually, no. I kind of want to finish writing these functions. Oh man, Slack chat is always good. Said Hawking passed away on Pi Day. The result, the next comment, how irrational. God damn it. Why are we all a bunch of idiots? Excellent. So result context and admin checking. So only like admins will be able to write to the online stat or result context group. So what do we need to do for this? So when we report individual results, we need to put those results into the results table for that user. We then need to delete the last X results from that table. So let's take a look at this. So why don't we craft the insert statement? Well, all right, I need to think about this. So if we go through and for every user we do a database call for this thing, that would be the worst case. What we'd like to do is do an insert of all these new results. We don't want to destroy results which have the higher value. Fuck. Okay, we have stat value and we also have duration. Oh no. So how do we know which direction the results go? So like if a result is keep highest or keep lowest, right? Let me think. So you have results. Well, let me think. So if we have something that's maybe time-based or something where the lowest score wins, I mean, we can always invert it, right? Like we can just make it a negative number or some crap like that, right? So we actually, the highest number is, like, instead of recording, yeah, we can always make it the highest number because if it goes to 0, we can just have like 0 and then like all your numbers are actually negative. So if it took you 2 minutes to do something, we actually report as a negative 2 minutes, right? Because theoretically, I guess that's also your score, right? Your score is 0 at best, and at worst, it's a minus 200 seconds. So that kind of does also make logical sense, even though it's not what people normally do. Okay, so we can use the highest stat value and just have the front end and other displays kind of figure that crap out for us. So the question is, I need to create a call which for every user creates a new insert call. We need to, for every user create the new results and insert them into the database. Trim the last, so it's going to be for each user ID, result context, result name, trim the last 10, trim to 10 based on the result, the creation time, but do not delete the best value, the highest stat value. Well, that's just fucking impossible. Like, we don't even know what the result ID of that highest value is. So I need to actually select that for every one of these things. So I'm going to have to create like a batch select call or some crap for this. And that's going to have to be for every unique key pairing of this stuff, which is going to be for every account ID, result context, result name. I'm going to need to load that data in, find the highest value, and then like do deletes on all the crap after sorting it. So what I could do is, what sort of selects do we have? So I can make a prepared statement for this. So it'd be like, grab all the relevant pieces of irrelevant results for each user, for each account ID, result context, result name being reported. Let's see, then we're going to want to insert all the new rows while adding, and then we want to delete all the old things and not the best value. Prepared statements? Yeah, I'm using prepared statements for all this stuff because that's how all the pros do it. It's you wouldn't really expect an indie studio to have this sort of database set up, like an auto-generated, gigantic, like SQL, nice and transactional and all sorts of shit for, like using prepared statements and like all this stuff to like really make sure that I don't fuck up the security and have horrible injection attacks all over the place. Like, I'm an indie developer, right? I should be like writing in PHP and just like slapping together a whole bunch of open source frameworks and never updating them. Or I should do what Super Meat Boy does, which is just cook the frickin' database credentials into the damn client and just have the client open up a SQL connection to our production database and, you know, just do that. If you're not familiar with that, the Super Meat Boy dudes they did that. They just cooked the like root username and password into their production database into the client for reporting high scores and high score tables. And of course somebody found that and he messaged the dude and he's like, hey, like your root password's in here. I could go delete everything. The guy was just like, I don't give a shit. You know, I've been doing this for years. Like, whatever. So the guy reset every high scorer name to his own name. and yeah. Yeah, like action login. And it's just like, it prints out your password. Just it prints out your password and your like email for Twitch every single time. All right, so let's craft our prepared statement. So So what we need to do is we need it's basically this gigantic list of ors for everything. So it's going to be this like select star from where, and then every single one of these things is another key. So we're going to have to go through every result for every person like this and do it this way. So if counter is equal to 0, I guess does not equal 0, we're going to do b.append just like or. Alright, so it's stats, user, result, var names. So it's going to be that account ID. It's going to be result context and then result name. Can bracket stack work 100% offline? Absolutely. You will not have like your stat tracking and everything else from this because we're storing it in the database. So like, if you're not connected, you won't be able to report your results. I might have time to write like some local caching for some of that to kind of help out if you're offline and like make some super awesome mission score, whatever. Make sure it gets reported. But as for the rest of it, like you can play versus other people. You don't even have to log in with Twitch to use the client and connect to people unlike a LAN. As long as you know their IP address, you can go to the join by IP screen and join people. So pretty much the whole thing is as DRM free as we can pretty much make it. Kind of we're doing like a central like back end thing with I could just say no, I don't want to log in, and then I can go type in Adam's IP address or whatever and go join that and go try to do that. So it totally works. Okay, so the next thing. This is our prepared statement that we have now made. We need to now execute it. And this might be kind of a big prepared statement. I don't know how how MySQL actually would, like, it might be more efficient to just select everything based on some transactions or whatever, but I'm not going to worry that too much. What about piracy? I'm not worried about pirates, to be honest. If people want to pirate this game, like, they weren't going to pay for it fucking anyway, and they might as well play it and, you know, be players that other people might play with or whatever. I mean, it's an online game anyway. Like, we're providing services that people want to use, right? Like, you'd have to go set up your own dedicated servers and gray shards and for the back end to do it. And it's like, well, why? Why go through all that work to set all that shit up and then you have to pay for it? Or you could just pay us, you know, like $10 fucking and there you go, you own the game. Like, you know, it's a better value than pirating the game, to be honest. So, yeah. I think a lot of like the mindset of that piracy is evil and hurts the industry and all that stuff is just bullshit. Like, I have never seen a game, I've never worked on a game where piracy did anything. And, you know, you'll beat the pirates. Don't worry, guys. Result name is not a fucking long. Jesus Christ, really? You screw that up. Alright, so user result. Result name is a long. Crap. Well, that's a problem. I mean, piracy is pretty much the only time I would be super worried about piracy is if my game was dependent on like actually being profitable in China or something like that. You know, where they don't give two shits about copyright laws and where they have companies that their entire purpose is just to pirate your game and like stick in copyright content. You know, like you can go play League of Legends with Shrek in it. Like, and that sort of thing is where you're like, okay, you'd want to put in stuff so it'd be difficult for those pirates to deal with, and you'd also, but even at that point, like they're gonna do it anyway. You haven't seen that, like, where they got League of China or whatever the hell, and you can play as like Naruto and Goku and like all these other people just doing complete bullshit moves. Alright, so that'll do our prepared statement and get our stuff. So we'll get our user results. Here it is. Okay, so we now have all the things. We need to build hash maps of all this stuff, so. So I can iterate through and sort stuff and delete crap and everything like that. What would be the next thing that we'd want? We'd probably want actually this prepared statement to do a little bit more. We probably want to do order by, because we're going to be dropping stuff based on the creation time. So if we do like a descending order sort of thing on the database, then we are guaranteed that. Why is this all pissed at me? Yeah, it shouldn't be. We're guaranteed that this is in chronological order, so we don't have to do the sort ourselves. Of some of these guys. So this array list will already be sorted